Hi kids, I am here with your Bible story. The last one we read, we were talking about Lot and Abraham. Let's see. We're going to continue on talking about them in the next story here. We read last time Lot makes a choice. Remember, he decided which side of the land he wanted. And he decided he wanted the best for himself. So his uncle Abram let him have it. Now, the runaway slave. And you can see a picture. And this is a picture of Hagar and Ishmael. And you're wondering, who is Hagar and Ishmael? Well, let's get into the story and you'll see. Abram and his family stayed in Canaan once they had gotten there, except for a time that they spent in Egypt to escape the famine, a period when the land did not grow enough food for the cattle. When they returned, they brought with them an Egyptian girl named Hagar to be Sarai's maid. When years passed and still Abram and Sarai had no children, Sarai suggested to Abram that Hagar have a child, and it could be the child God had spoken of in his promise. It could be the one to whom Abram could give the land and the blessings God had given him. After Sarai had made these plans, however, Hagar did something to make her very angry. Sarai was sorry that she wanted Hagar to be the mother of the promised child, and she punished her severely. Hagar ran away toward the desert, toward her home in Egypt, but she got so tired that she finally stopped to rest by a fountain. Here an angel of the Lord found her and said, "Hagar, where are you going?" "I am running away from Sarai, my mistress, because I do not want to serve her any longer," replied Hagar. "Go back to Sarai and obey her," the angel said. "God will be with you and will help you. You will have a son who will grow to be a strong man." Hagar returned to the house of her mistress, and she did have a son. Abram named him Ishmael, which means God hears. But even though Abram loved Ishmael, he was not the son God had promised. One day, Abram and Sarai had a baby, a boy of their own. This was the one whom God promised to bless and to make of him a great nation. His name was Isaac. Ishmael was older than Isaac, but he often played with the baby. Sarai did not like the older boy playing with her son, and she asked Abram to send him and his mother away. Now Abram felt sorry for Hagar and Ishmael, but God told him not to worry about them, because he was going to begin a nation with the boy Ishmael too. So Abram sent Hagar and Ishmael off with some food and water for their trip. They traveled toward Egypt again, but on the journey they used up all the food and water. In the hot sun and burning sand, they could go no further. Hagar laid poor Ishmael down in the shade of a tiny bush, because she said, "I cannot bear to see my boy suffer and die." God heard Hagar in the desert a second time, and again he sent an angel to her. The angel told her that God would take care of her and Ishmael. Surely enough, when the angel disappeared, Hagar saw a spring of water bubbling out of the dry ground near her. She filled their empty water bottles and gave Ishmael a drink. Hagar and Ishmael never returned to Egypt, but made their home in the wilderness, away from other people. Ishmael grew up there to be a strong outdoor man. very skillful with the bow and arrow. His children, like him, grew up in the desert and became a strong, wandering nation called the Ishmaelites. And that's the story of the runaway slave. So Abram, Abram's wife, Sarai, as she's still called, couldn't have a child at the time for Abram. So she had him get with her slave girl, Hagar. And Hagar got pregnant by Abram and had a son named Ishmael. Then when God blessed Sarai to have a son by Abram, her husband, who she named Isaac, like God told her to do. She wanted Hagar and Ishmael sent away. So Abram sent Hagar and Ishmael away. But God was still with Ishmael and Hagar and made a great nation and made Ishmael have many, many children and blessed him greatly as well. But Isaac was the son in which God was talking to Abram about, that he would bless him and he would carry on the line for many that will eventually lead to Jesus. So that is the story of that. Now we'll get into more of Abram's life, and we'll go back to seeing Lot again in the next story as well. When we talk about a wicked city, will be the next story. We'll be talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. And you'll see what miracles God does there and what happens to that town for being so sinful and mean. But I hope you guys liked today's story of the runaway slave. And I hope you guys are enjoying the Children's Bible series. And I hope to see you guys back again soon when we read the next story, A Wicked City, when we talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. Bye guys. God bless.